Hey everybody, welcome to the 187th episode of Super Joystick Radio, a weekly gathering of friends here to talk about all things video games. My name is Andy Halder and I'm joined by one of my favorite party members, Justin D.
Oh, good morning, party people.
Today we'll be discussing EA auto-scaling game difficulty, Pac-Man 99, and monkeys playing games with Neuralink implants. Yes, that's real. But first, what we've been playing. Justin, you want to take us off?
Yeah, buddy. So, just to begin with here, I was able to pick up a copy of Narita Boy. That was developed...
Also on Game Pass for free.
Yep, for free. Yeah, for free.
You really got to get that Xbox, brah.
I know, man. I really do. With all this, but I like giving money to developers that I really can get behind. So.
Hey, the developers on Game Pass do get paid.
I know they do, but I mean, maybe at a
a little
higher
extra
percentage.
something.
Yeah, a little something for them because I really enjoyed this game a lot. So so this is by Studio Koba. This is a Spanish developed team, and they was published by Team 17. So this game is awesome.
Words.
I love it. Yes, and I really love this game. I got to play it, and I had a clip coming up here pretty soon for that too. This is me getting my ass kicked by the final boss. There's really no spoilers here. I mean, you pretty much know from the get-go that you're going to be fighting this dude. There's no way around it. Like, you're just fighting this guy.
This is crazy.
Oh yeah, it's a really fun game. You don't really level up necessarily, but you just get new skills and new abilities, and
like
you got to be quick on your feet.
Metroidvania kind of thing.
Exactly. And right there, you can see me taking some hits and some pot shots, and I'm surely gonna die here a few different times. This boss fight took me about 30 minutes for me just to get lucky enough to finish him.
Damn.
Yeah, this. He goes through different stages, and if you do enough damage to him. He'll kind of get really
angry and aggressive.
Yeah, well, this right here, as you can see, he gets kind of gross looking. He doesn't really do a whole lot. He just stands there and takes the hits. So anyway,
that giant monster just threw up another instance of himself.
Yeah, he just that's what he does in the background,
and he's wearing sunglasses.
Yep. So kind of explain that is the creator of the digital world, and you are tasked to save this digital world that was created by the creator, and this guy is known as him as the final boss. Kind of almost reminds me of Powerpuff Girls, where the red devil character with the claws or whatever like that for hands, he was also known as him. So yeah, it's all about balancing yourself. This game is all about balance, and so yeah, this game is great. I love it. Platforming, puzzle, combat, the music, the story. It has that retro aesthetic throughout the entire game. That just throws me back to old school NES and Atari games. So this is just a great little indie gem.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you're listening to the audio only version of this podcast, you definitely need to jump on YouTube and check this out because it's crazy. Or at least Google Narita Boy. And look at some images. So it's funny because you might think that you used your phone to take video of this off of your TV because it has a tube TV screen in in the game. You can see the edges of it. It's kind of curved towards the edges. Is that that the entire time?
Entire time.
And the scroll the sync lines.
Yep.
Going
exactly.
Through? Wow.
Yep, the entire time.
So I do have a question. I don't think you mentioned this, but is it exploration too based at all? Do you get new powers and then unlock new areas like Metroid and stuff like that, or no?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you do exactly. So it kind of reminds me of Hollow Knight in the sense of you'll open up a new area, and then once you open up the new area, there'll be an ability that you'll gain there that'll get you access to a spot that you weren't able to at a previous spot, or there'll be a key in this one area that unlocks a door in a completely other area, and you've got to get to that area again. So there's a lot of backtracking and everything. So a lot of special, I probably took a pause here.
I'm trying to scrub the video here and see if you have anything of the levels. Is it all just?
Oh no, I
here?
don't. It's all the boss. Sorry.
Oh, okay, that's all right.
Because I did. I put the entire stream on Twitch. So if you guys want to take a look at that, everything is there. I play the entire game 100%.
Shameless plug.
Yeah. I like that.
It's not shameless. It's our show. Come on.
Right, true. But yeah, I don't know why this game got so such poor ratings.
Is it poor or is it just like adequate?
I guess it's
Isn't
just
it like a 6 or something?
6 or 7. Yeah, I mean, like IGN kind of shit all over it.
What were their main criticisms?
It just it's not special enough. Like, you know, for as great as the art and the music, like the gameplay itself just feels a little shallow, and it was a bit too. It was a bummer. So I was you know, I don't know what the person who wrote the review, if that's like what their thing is, like indie games, or now this game was supposed to be coming out in 2018. Like, this is a game that got delayed for 3 years.
Wow.
So I don't know if maybe there was a lot of hype behind this game where like a lot of people were expecting more from it. I don't know, but I loved it. Again, it's a great tribute to older games from the 80s, and those were also limited in their design. So I wasn't expecting to like be blown away, you know, by like something that was gonna, you know, reinvent the wheel. So
it just looks fun though.
Oh, it's so much fun. And this is just a boss fight. There's so many other like different bosses. There's one that's like you fight the Grim Reaper and it, like he fades into nothing, and then you got like a split second to react to him like showing up and then swallowing you whole.
What?
Yeah, it's a crazy fight. That fight was awesome.
If you get swallowed by him, do you have to restart the whole fight?
No, you he only takes like a see, as you look at the top there, you'll see that I've got like a health bar that looks like a battery, and he swallows you whole and then pukes you up in like a bloody vomit. Yes. So he doesn't actually get hurt by it, but you have to like mash X, I think it is, during that fight.
Okay.
But there's a ton of platforming, you know, a lot of abilities that you'll use to get around the maps and everything. So again, and there's a lot of secrets too. I unfortunately did not get all the achievements in this game. I wanted to badly, but I
no golf clap for you.
No golf clap for me. No, sir.
Speaking of, well, I guess not speaking of, but I wanted to mention Schmed is actually in the chat here, and he said, feels like the level design in Narita is a little more linear when compared to Hollow Knight.
It really is, but it was just a way that I could reference it in kind of retrospect. So here we go. That's where I beat the boss. Yeah, it took me three playthroughs to do that, and probably about, like I said, about 45 minutes or so in total for everything. So again, it got so the aggregated score on Metacritic is a 74, and like I said, IGN gave it a 6 out of 10. But 97% of Google users like this game, and it's also ranked very positive on Steam. So, you know, sometimes it's one of those things where if you're not a critic and you like these types of games, you're gonna probably like this game.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna love it. That's probably on my short list for sure.
Yeah. Hey, with that Game Pass, man,
for free.
It's for free.
Sure.
And then the second game I ended up finishing up with my wife was It Takes Two, which was developed by Hazelight Studios and then published by EA. So we beat the entire game yesterday. We streamed 97. I would even probably crank that up to like 99.5% that we actually fucking, you know, streamed the entire time. Yeah.
Good for you.
I just last night we got home. Oh, I'm sorry, yesterday afternoon. I'm sorry. This was yesterday afternoon. We like started it up while she was taking a nap, and I was like, okay, we got to get this in before Avery wakes up from her nap. So like I turned on the session, and we had just we didn't have a whole lot left going for us. So for the first like 20 minutes, I completely spaced taping that. So yeah, my wife got up here.
97% is pretty good coverage.
Yeah. So again, so many mechanics and abilities throughout this game. Again,
this looks awesome. You guys are riding on spiders and like shooting webs, and the camera is getting all crazy. And
oh yeah, it's wild. Yeah, this is a really cool section. I really like the spider section where you get to ride these. So this is super cool. So again, tons of abilities and skills and everything else that I really appreciated in this game. And then there were some that I resented because there were plenty of abilities or fights that Meg got while playing May, which is the female protagonist, versus myself, who played Cody, which is the male protagonist, that I was extremely envious of. So yeah, there was like a section where she became a knight with a sword, and she like had fire powers. She had a rocket launcher at one point. Like in this garden section, I get like this like hair whip that like I get to pull things around with, but like she gets like a squirt gun and also like a scythe to like attack things. And I'm like, dude, you got like such cool abilities.
But see, here's the thing. I mean, that they done a good job, it sounds like, making the roles unique. So it gives you a reason to play. So that's my question is, you've already committed to me that you will play through this with me. So are you going to play the female protagonist then?
I probably will, unless you want to. I don't mind either way.
I don't care because I haven't played it, except for the demo.
Yeah.
So
cool.
No, that would make sense if you would want to play the female, because then you can get try out all those other abilities that you're jealous of.
Yes. Very envious. So I'm really surprised at how deep this game really got. Through the journey of again. If you watch the trailer, you know that it's about a couple that's on the verge of divorce. That tells their daughter that they're separating, and she at first kind of like takes it like, oh, okay, and then
not really. That's like the face that she puts on.
She puts on. Oh,
but she
absolutely.
immediately, it's like it's one of those. But then she immediately turns around. She's like, ugh.
Right,
which is
she does. Yes, and then you turn into these dolls, and then it's there's a lot of snippy comments back and forth between the characters at first, and then throughout the journey.
I love bickering in my video games.
Yeah, right.
Keep it coming.
Right. But so this is the boss fight for that area. This is actually a really cool boss fight. So this was the section where
the scythe.
Yeah,
on her back.
So,
that's cool.
So this was the section where Cody is rediscovering his passion for gardening, and this is the first plant he ever planted in his garden, and it's like gotten twisted up with like neglect and everything else because he started gardening and he lost his passion for it, and so now like the garden house has turned into like weeds and been corrupted, and so then she like throws plants, like these potted plants down. And like I'll turn into a tomato, and like I was laughing so hard because I was like, "Is this VeggieTales?" Like
that does look like VeggieTales,
right? I was like, the next thing I'm going to be a cucumber.
Yeah, I do have to say also that is like a secret fear of mine, that plants or like vegetation that I've neglected in the past will come back to kill me, and I think it stems from Little Shop of Horrors, but
yeah,
but this is like bringing that to life, which is terrifying.
Yeah. And so we had to you have to use these powers in tandem because it's spraying this spray that only water can get rid of and clear a path for, and then I've got to be able to use my ability to knock this weed down, and then once it knocks down, you'll see this gate in front of her go away pretty soon, and then I'll take control of her for just a split second.
Was your wife jealous when she realized that you got to be a tomato?
No.
No?
No.
She liked the squirt gun. I don't know.
Yeah.
This looks pretty cool to me. That's hilarious.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. So we had a good time playing that, and I was really happy. Again, it was just a fun experience that I got to share with Megan. Again, she's not much of a gamer, so at all. So I just again love the fact that we were able to get together. So the next section after that, which was really cool, was discovering her passion, which was singing, and it was all about collecting microphones and speakers and lights. And there's a section which it mirrors Rainbow Road from
Would you have
Mario,
that on here?
Mario Kart. I don't, unfortunately. That was one of the sections that I did not. No, it's all good. It was it's not on that same clip, unfortunately, because it was one of the sections that we felt like I didn't continue on with. So here's a section of the
cool.
This is great. This is actually really cool. So this is the microphone section, and you're being chased by this giant cobra mic, and you're running down. Yeah, and then it'll break apart this part, and you've got to like navigate through this area here, and it was so much fun to play this because it's just so reactive, and like you're just seeing the snake like get after you.
Yeah,
and you've got to like, oh no, dude,
this is like an epic movie scene or something.
Oh, it's great. It's so good. And then, like I said, there is a section in the next part that is literally Rainbow Road. So, like, here you get to ride the snake. Yeah, it was, like I said, this was such a magical, like, part. And I was a little bummed out because this chapter, unfortunately, doesn't have a boss. In every chapter, it always had a boss fight. And this one didn't have one. And, I mean, because I don't consider this a boss fight. This is more like
yeah, it's a race level kind of thing.
Yep, exactly. And then even like when we're collecting the speaker, so we fucked up here
Oh,
really bad.
yeah, I was going to say,
Like,
you didn't go with the
like,
camera there.
Go left. And I was like, oh shit, we should have gone left. So yeah, no, so we messed up there. So we had to restart from a previous section here, but it was totally fine. I love the load times in this game, honestly. It's really quick. And here you can see, just getting right back into the action.
I did skip ahead on the
No, that's all good. I'm
video.
glad you didn't repeat that. So again, I'm really looking forward to playing this again, trying out the other character. And I really want to speed run this game. I think this game would lend itself really well to having a speed run done of it. Because once you know the mechanics and the story, there's really nothing. So like she crushed it, she got through it, and then she pretty much saved us to get to the next area.
Nice.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, so there were
now it's
definitely
like a side-scrolling platform. That's really cool.
Yep. See, I fucked up again. She totally got it. She nailed the jumps, and I was like, oh, I don't know.
That's why they called your wife your better half.
Yep, exactly. Yep. But this is super cool too. Like there's like right here, we're trying to close the door to like stop the snake from getting us. We gotta use teamwork to push it, and then boom, something straight out of like Indiana Jones.
Decapitate.
Oh, dude, it's so good. So good. And again, this game got an 88% on Metacritic as an aggregated score. Got a 9 out of 10 on IGN. And again, 97% of Google users love this game, and we did too.
That's all you need to know. Do the users like it?
Yep, exactly. So what have you been up to, buddy? What have you been playing?
Well, I've been playing Oddworld Soulstorm on PlayStation.
The free game.
Yes, another free game. That's my life these days. I play everything that's free.
Yes.
And by free, I mean included with the services I'm paying for. So, I mean, yeah, I want to make sure I'm getting my money's worth, right? But so this is cool. This actually came out on Tuesday, and it was out day one for free on PS Plus. So that's really cool. So I downloaded it. It's a classic 2D action platformer, and I do have some footage here I'll put up real quick. And yeah, I mean, it basically, I'm going to be speaking about this within the frame of having played and really enjoyed the other previous Oddworld games. So I'm going to be comparing them a little bit.
Yeah.
But so yeah, basically this one attempts to bring the series into the modern age. So there's a lot of interesting things that I'll get into in a minute. But you play as a character named Abe, which is the protagonist from Oddworld Abe's Odyssey and Abe's Exodus. And he's a creature, like an alien kind of creature called a Madukin or Madokin. I probably messed that up. But
Madukin!
Yeah, for newcomers who might not be familiar, Abe has this ability where he can chant that you're seeing in the clip here. You can like focus and chant, and then you become like a little spirit, and then you can possess enemies. And then you can use them for your bidding, like to pull levers or to just dispose of them. So you don't have any, like, you can't physically like fight enemies really. So really your defense or offense is really to just possess them. And once you have them possessed, you can actually just release that and then they explode into bits. Yeah. So you don't have to worry about, that's basically your main mechanism of killing them. But all the enemies have guns, or at least the ones early on. And so you can actually go shoot the other enemies with the gun, which is pretty cool. So, and that's not really new. That's, been there since the original games. But there are a lot of things that are new. They have an inventory system now that where you have things like, at least I'm probably only about 3 hours in the game, maybe. So I'm still pretty early on, but even from the beginning, you get like water bottles that you can use to put out fire that might be blocking your path. There's also this flammable liquid bottle that you can throw so you can spread fire that may exist in the environment. And then you can use that to kill enemies and stuff like that as well. You also saw me in this clip throwing a trip mine, so you can throw like these little mines and then they activate, and when the enemy steps on them, they blow up. Or actually, in this case, they get shocked. Then you have a certain amount of time before they wake up that you can use to like sneak past them. There's other interesting mechanics that are new too, like you can pickpocket the enemies, which is weird. So like if they're sleeping or if they're incapacitated, you can pickpocket them, and sometimes you can get some good stuff. There's also a thing that I learned about with pickpocketing at the same exact time, because I pickpocketed one of these guys, and he had tape, and you can actually use the tape to bind him up, like tie him up, basically, so that you can. It's just a non-lethal way to, get past an enemy, which I thought was kind of interesting. Nice. I'm pretty sure there's some wicked achievements in this game, and there's no way I'm going to platinum this, but I'm there because each level basically has a count of fellow Madukans that you have to save, and if there's a threshold, so if you don't save enough of them, then you don't beat the level. But there's also, I'm pretty sure there's like an achievement where you have to save all of them in the game, which is insane. But then likewise, I'm not sure about this, but it keeps track of how many enemies you kill too in the level, and I'm betting that there's probably an achievement to kill all the enemies or kill no enemies, I'm guessing, because they give you the option for the non-lethal stuff. It seems like that might be something that they're doing, which I think is cool for like trophy hunters and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
It also features a crafting system, which I haven't gotten into yet. I haven't been exposed to it, so I'm expecting it to come into play within a couple of levels probably. But I thought that was really interesting, so maybe I'll talk about that next week or whatnot. But thought that was cool. Just general gameplay stuff here, like it's actually really clunky, and
really?
And it always has been. Like all the Oddworld games are just kind of floaty with edges, and it is, I guess it is better a little bit, but yeah, anytime you're trying to get like climb up edges and stuff like that, you have to be very precise. Those mines that you see in the video, those are just the shock mines, but there's also ones that explode, and the ones that explode, you can curl up into a ball and crouch and then roll up to those mines, and you have to time it right where you pat the top of the mine and then it disables it. And those are super touchy, like if you roll just a little too close or if you miss it by just like a hair, you blow up. So there's a lot of little things like that where it's like really touchy. But that's, again, if you played the other Oddworld games, it's just kind of like that. And like like the old Prince of Persia's and those kind of side-scrolling like 2D platformers that I'm talking about, where it's just kind of floaty and you always have the edges are kind of a pain in the butt to grab and stuff like that. That kind of stuff still exists here, but I kind of wish that they would have, especially now in this generation, made it a little bit more sticky, so you can you don't have to worry about it as much, but. The graphics definitely look better than the previous installments, but I'd say nothing that the PS4 couldn't do, because this was a PS5 game that they gave away on PS Plus. However, I've come to find out that it's also available on PS4, which I didn't realize that. I thought it was a PS5 exclusive, so it is not. It is a PlayStation exclusive with the aside from the PC version. Yeah. So console exclusive for PlayStation. But anyway, so that might be why it's not like crazy awesome looking. I mean, it looks pretty good. Yeah. But it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't look like something that PS4 couldn't do. Yeah.
Right.
So, and now, obviously, now that I know it's on PS4, that makes sense why.
Right.
But hey, it's a 2D platformer, so I mean, it looks pretty darn good for a 2D platformer. Right. What were you saying?
I was just going to say this, the way that this game is all laid out, it makes me think like this is what the Lord of the Rings Gollum game is going to look like. Yeah.
Isn't that third person? Like, I don't think it's a side scroller. I think that's actually like a 3D third person.
I'm not sure. I just like if they did it like this is how I can imagine them making a game very much like this.
Yeah, these characters
this straight looks like fucking Mordor.
Oh yeah. And these characters totally look like Gollum as well.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
There are parts in cutscenes and stuff where I was just like, wow, these guys look and sound and act a lot like Gollum. Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned that. So they do some cool stuff for it being a 2D side-scrolling platformer. They do a lot of cool stuff with the camera where they'll zoom in. See, in this clip, you can see it zooms in because there's not really, a lot of action. So it's kind of zooming in so you get more detail. The camera swings around things, and even though you're only running left and right and going up and down, the camera will swing around things and stuff like that as you're moving, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's also a lot going on, like you can see in this section here. There's these sniper lasers that are trying to shoot me, so you got to hide behind walls, and then you got enemies that are looking for you. So you got to be stealthy to a degree in this part. All while these giant mortars are falling from the sky, trying to blow you up. So you have to watch out for those too. So I like how much action they put into this.
Right.
In some of the other games, I feel like it wasn't as epic as often, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of the Oddworld stuff is like sneaking around and solving these puzzles. So it can be a little slower. So when they have something like this, like sections, which I played several of the sections that I've played have had, this high action.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's pretty cool. Oh, just took a sniper round right there. I will say one of the very first impressions that I got when I started the game, it made me open Google Docs for our notes and like jot some stuff down, was how obtuse the tutorials felt. They really, it just seems real, obtuse is the best word for it. But so basically,
too much hand holding.
Not it's not even hand holding. It's just the way that they tell you. I love when they just put it up on the screen. You get to a section, it's like hold circle to crouch and roll. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Or press square to do this. Well, they do have a little thing in the upper left-hand corner, so it's kind of tucked away, that lists a couple of objectives, but they're super broad. And it'll just say they'll have tips up there press square to interact with objects or something like that. It's why don't you just put a little picture of the square button by the object, the first couple of times, and then call it a day. But they have it up there. And then on top of that, they have these stones that you interact with that are like help stones. And it brings up a dialogue window that has a video showing stuff, which I like. That's cool. But in the early parts of the game, it's press square to interact with objects, and it shows it in the upper left, like I said. But then you interact with the stone, and it's press square to interact with objects, and it shows a video of him interacting with the stone that you just activated. Oh. And it's what? Why? Who did this?
Right.
So just weird stuff like that. But it's not a huge deal. It's you look past it, and you don't even need to interact with the stones, so it's not that in your face. But I just thought it was kind of weird, just strange. So yeah, and I guess you could say handholdy too, kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah, the puzzles themselves are fresh, and they're just the right level of challenge, I feel to not beat your head against the wall. I didn't spend longer than I did die a lot. You do die quite a lot in this game, but the respawn is pretty much near instant.
Yeah, that's awesome.
As you could probably have seen, you probably seen.
I wonder if that would be also the same in PlayStation for the 4.
I think it probably would be, but you never know. I'm sure it should be faster on PS5, right? That's the idea. But yeah, so you die a lot, but the respawn's not too bad. But even dying a lot, you're learning. Okay, now I'm not going to do that next time. I'm going to change my strategy and do this. I did that in this section a couple times. I think it might have taken me 10 minutes, but it's not any different than other puzzle games. So and I like that it's not, and there's nothing crazy oh, why didn't I think of that? I have to move this box 2 centimeters over to the right more or something like that. I don't feel there's any gotchas. It's pretty straightforward. Yeah. So I appreciate that too. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the new mechanics, and the graphics, and the story is pretty cool. It picks up right after the other games, so immediately, which is pretty cool. So it's kind of continuing that story, and it does look pretty fresh on the PS5. So yeah, it's free on PS Plus right now, and it's my title on there says Overwatch. I messed that up.
It does say Overwatch. Yeah, I was gonna.
That's clearly not Overwatch.
Yep.
But yeah, this is Oddworld Soulstorm. So yeah, these are the things that you deal with a live show. But yeah, anyways, check it out. Oddworld fans, definitely check it out. But if you like 2D puzzle platforms, then, you'll probably like it as well. So
Nice.
let's keep things moving with News Bites.
Oh, yeah!
Yum, 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 yum.
Tasty.
Delicious.
Cover that shit in ketchup.
Oh, interesting. Or ranch.
Ugh, ranch.
My daughter's obsessed with ranch.
I can't stand ranch.
All right, I'll start this off. You're crazy. Ranch is delicious. So
Blue cheese or death.
Castlevania's canceled Dreamcast game was discovered as a playable prototype. So this is an article from Polygon, so you can go there to check out the whole article. But Castlevania Resurrection is a scrapped 3D platformer that was going to come out for Dreamcast. Back in 1999, it was shown behind closed doors at E3.
That's wild.
So I think other people have only seen like screenshots of it, or but not for actual gameplay, I don't think. And so the art apparently it's a very linear level design, but I still think it's interesting. A 3D Castlevania.
Yeah, right.
Like think Zelda and Mario 64 kind of thing. That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
The art director Greg Orduyan said in a 2007 interview that the game was sabotaged by people within Konami who had their own agenda.
Oh, dang.
Konami strikes again.
Konami.
Bastards.
I know, right?
But unfortunately, it's unfortunate that the game didn't make it to release, but it is really cool to be able to see portions of the demo. So the dude actually has the disc and he puts it into, and it's like a CDR, but it's like a Dreamcast CDR that like from their company, and he puts it in the Dreamcast, boots it up, and there's like a dev menu that you can cycle through to like go to the different levels to like show what it's like. And the graphics aren't crazy, but they're not, they're interesting. So I don't know, it's pretty cool. There's like scary ghost things that come in and like chase you, and like kind of like witches and things.
Spooky ghosts.
I like it. All right, what do we got next here?
Yeah, so we got Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest is going to return in June.
Woo, woo.
So Jeff is at it again. The pandemic doesn't slow. The pandemic never stops him. He was like, "Well, I was built for this." So he announced that Summer Game Fest was going to be back on prior to E3, coming back, and they announced that here on so E3 the announcement came out on April 6th that they were doing it, but like a few days prior to that, they were like, yeah, Summer Game Fest is happening. So there's really no news whether either show will be tied to one another, or if there'll be like different showcases from different platformers there, from different platforms there. So like if Xbox shows off, Halo at the E3, but then shows off, Psychonauts at Summerfest, who knows what's gonna happen there.
Yeah,
but,
do you think it might end up being like a big duplicate thing where they're showing the same stuff?
Well, so last year I know that Jeff's Summerfest thing was like 4 months long or something, and there was like different things going on, and then I know IGN tried to like pick up the slack for like a week. So we'll just see what comes of it. I know that one of the first things that or the only thing that's really been named like a section of the show is the Day of the Devs, which is going to focus on and highlight some indie devs. And they actually had up until April 9th to submit some of their entries for this category for submission. So it'll be just like a highlight of what people are working on in the industry, and just showcase some of the talent there. So super cool. So I'm looking forward to both. Maybe this will be kind of a new thing. We'll have Summer Game Fest, and we'll also have E3. So we'll have like maybe like something that's sort of spread out over months.
That's kind of how the IGN thing was too. You said a week, but it actually was like multiple weeks. I remember because
3 weeks or something.
I think we did like 4 parts last year for the show, and it was just crazy. Like but it was also like a slow trickle of information. It wasn't a lot of like massive stuff like it has been in the past. Yeah. So I kind of like the big production, that kind of thing rather than the slow trickle personally.
Yeah. So I think the Summer Game Fest is going to be more slow trickle, and the E3 will be, because I think it's 4 days. Like, it's a Saturday through Tuesday event in June. And we'll talk about that here in just a moment. But I think with Summer Game Fest, I think they haven't like locked down any days. They said that they're going to start in June, but there's like no specific day of what it's going to really start, or what it's going to entail and how long it's going to last.
Yeah, everyone's probably waiting for each other to see like who's going to do what.
Right.
To
it's
compete.
like an old Western, the showdown.
Who will shoot first?
Yeah, right.
And Sony, I don't know if you mentioned that Sony's not going to be a part of E3.
That was actually part of the E3 announcement down below.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Whoops.
No, it's okay. We're jumping ahead. We'll
all
get
good. To that. We should have put those together. What were we thinking?
I don't know.
3 a.m. me.
Yeah, right.
3 sheets to the wind, and I didn't organize it properly. This show is falling apart.
It's cracking at the seams.
All right.
So tell me about some GameStop.
Yeah, so I don't have a ton on this, but GameStop announces a plan to generate hundreds of millions of dollars to support their transformation strategy. So this is an article on GameSpot. You can check it out there. But yeah, over the last few months, I'm sure you heard about it if you pay attention to game news or even financial news or any news, really, because it's kind of crazy. But Reddit basically blew up the GameStop stock and hyper-inflated it to a ridiculous level and pissed off a bunch of corporate fat cats, which I think is kind of funny.
Yeah,
but
stick it to the man.
Yeah, but so GameStop, it sounds like GameStop is going to be cashing in on that, and they may sell up to 3.5 million of their own shares, which could generate hundreds of millions of dollars, and then use those funds to continue the company's effort to transform their business. So, like, if this is how it ends up panning out, how crazy is that people were like, fuck you, Wall Street, we're going to blow up this stock. And then GameStop's like, yeah, and it's going to save our business. Right. So we're going to make all this money on it. And then now we're actually going to save our business by hopefully making better choices.
Right. Just transform it into something cooler.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, I think they've talked about this before, but is it going to basically become like a Spencer's Gifts of the video game industry? Because they did acquire Think Geek.
Yeah, I mean, they did. I mean, from
what is it just going to be geek culture?
Maybe it could be. I mean, if they incorporate a lot more of that, I don't know. It's still too early, I feel like, to say what they're gonna do and how they're gonna transition, because it's one of the only like few places you can resell a game without going through like eBay or selling it back on Amazon or like a Razer Replay or something, or a disc replay or something. So I don't know. I mean, I would love to see where they go. Hopefully they make better decisions, and so this is sort of their get out of jail free card. They're sell a ton of their stock and pull themselves out of the red.
Yep. Anyway, interesting nonetheless, I thought. So
right.
Yeah. All right. What's next? This seems cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. I actually want to get in on this. I just saw this here last night, so I'll probably download this here right afterwards. My Switch has been unfortunately dead. I've just been mostly PC and PlayStation 4 or gaming. But yeah, so Pac-Man 99 is going to be a free Switch game. Exactly like the Tetris 99, but with Pac-Man. So it's that battle royale that's only on Switch. So very excited about that. So I guess eating ghosts will send them to other players, and so you have to deal with a lot more ghosts. And that's available now. You don't have to pay for anything as long as you have the Nintendo Online sub.
$20 a year.
Yeah, seriously.
No excuse, because it comes with
so many retro games,
a library of Super Nintendo games as well. So
yeah,
and Tetris 99, which is awesome.
Yeah, Tetris 99 is great. And then Pac-Man 99, and they had the Mario one there too, the Mario 35.
I think that's going away or has gone away, because that was a limited time thing, which is stupid. I don't know why.
I know, it was so good. I loved it.
Leave it on there, or
right.
You know what? Pick a different Mario. That's cool. Like, dude, how cool would Mario 3 be? That would be like the Wizard. Like they do it. Like everybody is just like running through the same level, and yeah, they could totally keep that going.
I wonder if they'd include like all of, like the breaks or whatever like that, like all like the little hacks.
Oh, that would be
where
cool.
You could like
go
where like
on
level
scenes.
3. Yeah, exactly. Go behind the scenes and get the little like flute to like go to like level 8.
They should.
Right?
Actually, you know what? Mario did. When Mario 35, they had the warp pipes, so you could still go over the top and then warp to the later level. But I think I'm not sure if what that was like if you got to a higher level, if the enemies like that you killed dropped more enemies on the other players, or I'm not sure if it was advantageous for you to actually, warp into the future levels.
Right.
And it also makes it harder for you because then you have to stay alive. I think you could do a lot more damage if you were just killing a crap ton of enemies.
Right. Well, we'll just see. We'll team up. We'll play some Pac-Man 99.
I love the available now, and it's free.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yep.
All right.
So tell me about Microsoft.
I thought this was interesting. So Microsoft adds touch controls to more than 50 Xbox Game Pass cloud games. So they're starting to roll out all of these xCloud games, making them available, and which totally makes sense that they're adding the touch controls to them. So now you could actually just play on your Android phone or whatever. I don't think they have support for Apple yet, but hopefully soon. No. But yeah, so cool. You can just go on your phone and load the app, and you can play right there. Especially for games that would make sense, like Luminous or like puzzle games, or even a 2D platformer. Even maybe that might be kind of annoying, but there's certain games where this will work better for than others. But I've never been a fan of the digital analog sticks. I think that just doesn't feel good.
You just you have to have a huge screen for that, and for people that right. And I've got giant thumbs, so then all of a sudden half my screen's already covered.
It's your thumbs. I could just sit here and look at my thumbs if I wanted to.
Right, exactly.
Well, some would argue you need a phablet then.
Yeah, right.
Get a bigger phone.
Yeah, right.
But no, it is cool. I don't know how much I'd use it, but I still think it's cool. And yeah, we'll see. The xCloud is coming, baby. Included in Game Pass. I hope it's going to let me play. This is a small side tangent, but I hope the xCloud is going to let me play PC games on their highest settings on my computer without having a graphics card.
Right? That would be so dope.
It should.
Well, essentially be what Stadia would be.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So.
But they haven't said how PC games are going to work on that, really. I think it's mostly been consoles and stuff, so we'll see.
There was a rumor. I know we didn't put this in our news because I wasn't sure if we were going to put kind of rumors, but the director
we don't comment on rumors.
Right.
Just kidding. That's pretty much all we do.
Right. Exactly. The director for God of War was saying that PlayStation is in the works to create PlayStation's own kind of Game Pass to counter Xbox's Game Pass.
Yeah, they have to. I mean, they're not going to be able to remain competitive eventually.
Right.
As the Game Pass keeps growing. Luckily, as we've talked about on the show for years, they have that. It's called PS Now, and all they have to do is include it with PlayStation Plus. And they could even raise the price of PlayStation Plus, and a lot of people would probably be okay with it.
Right.
But the other thing that they need to do immediately would be to put every single first-party PlayStation game on there. That's a requirement.
Right.
None of this timed crap.
Right. Oh, definitely not. And I mean, they just added a few more games, for the back end here. We got Schmed still feeding us some info here, being the super sly, sleuthy person that he is. Sends us news articles from time to time, and they just added Marvel's Avengers, and there's a couple other games he mentioned too that was getting added to that PlayStation Now, whatnot. But again, that's a game from last year. We should be seeing day one. Abe's Odyssey should be on there. The new one, the Oddworld one, should be there day one, but it's not. And so, we'll see obviously as it goes. But again, that's just a rumor. Again, I didn't put that in our notes here. So if you're looking for that article, you can just Google it. But yeah, God of War director said that PlayStation's working on it, but they don't have anything definitive as of yet. So we'll see.
Interesting. All right. Yes. I'll take this one, and then you can run with the next one.
Yeah, for sure.
This I came across this news article. EA patents adaptive difficulty system that adjusts to keep you playing longer.
Yeah.
So this was from IGN, so you can check out the full article there. But IGN did update the story to say that the patent filing was actually originally submitted in 2016. So this is not technically new, the patent, but they did re-up it recently, just in March, I think. So it is, still relatively new news. But anyway, the adaptive difficulty system could, quote, review historical user activity data with respect to one or more video games to generate a game retention prediction model. Mm-hmm. If this doesn't sound like an EA-ish kind of thing to do, I don't know what does. But
right.
Basically, this model would be used to predict how long the user would play and adjust the difficulty granularly to maximize that playtime. I don't like that.
It sounds like it sounds sneaky because again they have their EA Play that you pay for, and so if they're using this sort of data mining practice where they're looking at your ability based upon what you're playing, and then they're predicting how best to up the difficulty in the game based upon your history. Mm-hmm. It seems like it's a way for them to again maximize how long they're going to play, but also it maximizes how much they're going to pay for.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because if you've got that EA access, which I believe doesn't come on PlayStation, it's like $5 or something like that if you add it to it, and then on Game Pass it comes already included.
Mm-hmm.
But with that EA access, if they have the data there to show this is what this person's played and how well they do in this situation, how well they do in that situation, and how can we tweak it in this game so that way they're playing longer, it just increases their exponentially how much money they can profit on that EA pass.
Yeah I'm not a fan of it, and even in single player games, but particularly in multiplayer games, people have made accusations, and EA adamantly denies that it's using any of this in their online multiplayer sports ball games. But apparently tech like this has been used before by other companies in games like Resident Evil 4 and Left 4 Dead. And so I don't like the idea of the game adjusting itself to me. Like, I want to get better at the game and learn. I mean, that's the whole point. So I think at its worst, it should be an option when you're selecting the difficulty to maybe auto scale if you want that. But how are players expected to get better if they're not properly challenged at the level that they want to be challenged at, right? So I don't know. I don't like it. And I do think some games do handle this really well already by asking you if you want to change the difficulty after you continuously fail. Especially like if it's like 10 times in a row to be like, are you sure you don't want to go down to the lower difficulty? You're not that good.
Yeah, right.
But I always feel... I kind of feel somewhat offended by that when the game tells me that, and then it does make me personally want to keep at it and get better and defeat that challenge.
So I know that that Ubisoft just recently with the last Assassin's Creed, the enemies scale. Like there's no level to the enemies because they grow with you. Like they become more challenging as you get better.
I think that's mostly just their level stats though. It's not like. But what were you gonna say about that? Sorry.
I was gonna say I mean, like with the fact that it grows with it. I feel like it's kind of the same thing. I mean, I know that this is using data from other games to put together sort of a profile essentially of
that's even more
gaming
crazy.
ability. I know, right? So I think that, just like having difficulty levels and having like, if you want to include a scaling model, sure, fine. That's for that game, but don't like piece together, different games and say, based upon this game, this game, and this game, I know how difficult this game should be. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Based on this player's abilities too.
Right.
They'll never get better. They're trying to hold us down. All right. This is the bread and butter right here. This shit is crazy. Go ahead.
This is straight sci-fi, man. Yeah, so Elon Musk shows off monkey playing a video game via the Neuralink implant. So, what? Yeah. So we've got the father of the Planet of the Apes and Cyberdyne is making new moves with Neuralink implants. Obviously, those are just jokes. He's really not going to, create Planet of the Apes or Terminators. But, hopefully who knows? Not. Elon Musk, is... crazy. I mean, at one point, me and my wife were sitting out last year outside, and he was launching satellites into the atmosphere to like create his like network because he's trying to like counteract the network like around the world or whatever like that, and like try to make internet accessible to everybody. But anyway, so we saw all these satellites going up, and we thought like the world was ending. Like, we were being invaded
Oh, you
by
could actually see them?
yes, from where it was launching.
I missed that.
Oh yeah, me and my wife have videos, and we were like walking around. We are like, and then we saw like other neighbors out there looking too. And we are like, "What is that?
That's crazy!
That?
I want to see
Dude,
that video." I never.
Yep.
I was probably too busy like playing video games in my basement or something.
But no, it was crazy. So, but anyways, he released a video showcasing a monkey playing Pong with the implant. And so in the beginning of the test, the monkey was using the joystick and then also being fed like some kind of like sweet treat or something of that nature, when it was playing properly. And then later on in the test, the joystick was disabled in the second test, where it was like pulled from the system, and he was still able to use the joystick, and it was like it was reading off the chip, and then eventually it took away the entire and then they took away the entire joystick entirely, and all he had was just the straw for the sweet treat, and he was able to read the monkey's brain signal, which is crazy. So
he controlled the paddles the paddle in Pong, just thinking about it because he wanted the treat. Yep. So they knew that what brain pattern meant up and what brain pattern meant down. It's pretty insane. What does that thing look like? So it's just a chip in your head?
It's super small. It's like pressed, like, so it's like up against the skull like itself. So like it's not like sticking out, like you're not having like some like giant like computer like halfway like sticking off of your face or something like that. Like, right, exactly. No, it's just like a simple chip that's like pressed directly into your skull pretty much, and then flush against your so what they were saying was this is sort of a really big breakthrough. I mean, this has been talked a lot theoretically for a while, because you have people that are paraplegic who are completely paralyzed, people that can't speak or in vegetative states and stuff like that. Maybe not vegetative states, but definitely the people that are like have paralysis. This could send signals to potentially allow you to walk again. And that's the idea, is that he could read the signals of I want to move, left foot first, right foot second, kind of that thing, and be able to transmit that. So,
and that is definitely like the positive side to the technology, and like that makes a lot of sense, and I think that's super, super cool. And then there's the other side.
Yep. So
where we're all going to be in this digital world with chips in our heads, where it's always connected to something, and anyone could hack your brain and make you move your arm, and the possibilities are endless.
This is, I think this is cyberpunk, right?
It is. Yeah. Well, you said that's what I was going to ask, is like, is there a jack? Like, do you like plug in or something like that? But that's even kind of scarier that it's just there. Yep. No jacks.
Yeah, no jacks. And that means like hacking like people's brains could be something that could be done.
That
like,
would be something that absolutely could be done, because if you can read those signals and interpret them, why couldn't you stimulate the brain to make those signals? So could you imagine that controlling someone? Like you hack a person and then you're like, I'm going to commit a crime.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like just take them into there, like steal, like rob a bank or something. Wild.
I'm sure we're far off from that, but
we are. I think so.
It's it's the beginning. It could be
exactly.
Yeah, everything can be used for good and evil, though. So I'm not saying that we shouldn't try to progress. Right. It's like one of those things that you have to do it, because why wouldn't you?
Yeah. But obviously, PETA was pissed. They issued a statement that they feel the experiment should be done without using animals and should just use real humans.
That's crazy. I'm sorry. That's crazy. That would be like, so they were mad when they sent a monkey into space before a person? And
yes, they were livid about that.
They suggest that they should have sent a person before the monkey?
Yes.
So why is the monkey... So that's like the exact opposite argument, right? So they're saying that a monkey's life is more valuable than a human's?
What they're saying is that it's a form of speciesism, which is a human supremacist worldview. So, it's like So, I mean, that's PETA's point of view. So,
all right. Well, I don't want to talk anymore about that right now, because we don't need to go off on a tangent on that. But duly noted, PETA was mad. Surprise,
PETA
surprise.
was mad. Yeah, right. But tell me about Outriders. I know that you and Schmed got together here and got to enjoy it. I know there was some unfortunate news that took place here.
Not for me. But yeah, so this article is from Eurogamer. It says some distraught Outriders players have lost nearly 100 hours of progress after the latest patch. So
that's wild, man. That sucks.
Yeah, basically the first big patch for Outriders came out a few days ago that wiped some players' inventories clean. So they log in and they're naked. They have no gear. And so if you are unfamiliar, and I'm not totally familiar, but I do understand how these games work, is basically once you get to a certain point of the game, then you're playing the end game. And really the only thing that matters at that point is the gear that you collect from grinding and doing like special, missions and accomplishments and things like that.
Like a Destiny.
Exactly like Destiny, yeah. So to have all of that stuff just be wiped away, it, basically is a big FU, and I don't see how anyone would ever want to play the game again after losing all that stuff.
That'd be crazy. I mean, I imagine that Square Enix probably got a shit ton of people sending them emails or calling them and being like, fix my shit, bro. Put all my stuff back.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully they'll be able to.
Well, here's the thing. So they say they actually came out and said, let's see, it was People Can Fly is the developer. Square Enix is the publisher. And apparently they're having a hard time fixing the bug. And it's been there since launch, but it's it's been a problem since launch, but I guess it was exacerbated by the latest patch. But People Can Fly said in a recent statement that restored items so it sounds like they're going to restore them. This is the quote, sorry. Restored items may not have the exact same stats as the lost items. Whoa. Because here's the thing. Sucks. Here's the thing. Many of the in-game players have are grinding for these god rolls that they call them, because there's random stats when you get these items. So even if you get like the item that's super rare, like, I really want that, you can get that, but then be like, well, it doesn't do, the stats aren't in line with how I'm playing my character. So then they'll keep grinding until they get that very specific one.
Oh, man.
And so for the company to say that they might not be able to restore that is, it's better than having everything wiped for good, but it's not good enough. And it could still result in lots and lots of time lost.
When I was reading this this news bite here from your stuff this morning, because I know you filled this one in, but I was reading and I was like, People Can Fly? I was like, that's a crazy bug. Like, I legitimately thought like the players would be able to fly through the game, and I was like,
too early.
That's wild. I'd play that game for sure.
Yeah. You're like, yeah, that's not a bug. That's a feature. It's a bug with a sweater on it.
Oh, that was so cool. I was like, are they trying to go for Anthem's throat now?
That would be cool.
Right? But that's not the case. I was just the developer. So that's my bad.
Yep.
So,
that's all right. So here's the one that I tried to get into too early.
Oh, yeah. So this is E3 watch. So E3 is going all digital.
Woo!
Yo.
Yeah, so they just didn't do anything last year, right?
No, they were just
bowed out.
Nope. Yep, exactly.
Kinda crazy.
Yeah, so they canceled the show. They weren't going to try to put together like a digital one. This year they are going completely digital, and they look like the in person is set to resume in 2022, pending obviously everything, calms down with the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
But this is going to take place between June 12th through the 15th. So I believe that's a Saturday through a Tuesday. And it's going to be completely free. It's a reimagined all virtual event for free. Except there were some rumors when this first came out that they were going to be doing E3, that organizers of E3 were going to paywall some of the conferences or demos and then quickly walk that back, because there was a lot of uproar about how fucked up that would be to paywall that shit. Mm-hmm. So they walked that back.
I could understand that at a learning conference or something like GDC. They don't want, they're paying these speakers to do certain sessions for how to do this or tips and tricks or something. But so I could see that for that. But yeah, E3, no, I don't think so.
Yeah. But this is going to include Nintendo. It's going to include Xbox, Capcom, Konami, Ubisoft, Take-Two Interactive, Warner Brother Games. So all the big AAA are going to be there. So it's going to be awesome. I'm wondering if Bethesda's going to show up under Xbox and where Square Enix falls too, because those have not been confirmed.
Yes, because Bethesda usually has historically had their own full press conference.
Yep.
I'm guessing that it'll probably be a mixture of both, because Bethesda, they've said that they're going to basically remain independent, or they're going to act independently.
Yep.
So Microsoft is basically like, yes, give us all your games and keep doing what you're doing because it kicks ass.
Right. So hopefully they'll be included here with that Xbox presentation. That's what I'm hoping for.
No PlayStation, though.
Yeah, right. No PlayStation, no Sony. So
but they haven't been in E3 for a long time, or a while.
No,
now.
Just last year.
Wasn't it?
Yeah,
I thought it was a couple years.
No, I guess you're right. It was 2019. They were not in it, and then 2020 is when obviously shit went crazy.
Yeah,
so
nobody was in it.
No one was in it. They all did their own thing. But yeah, so they have not been in it since 2018. So I think they didn't really have a whole lot more to show in 2019, because in 2018 they blew their load and did The Last of Us, and they went over Ghost and everything else.
Here's everything that's going to come out for the next 4 years, so we don't have to do a press conference anymore.
Exactly. So I mean, I would be looking forward to seeing Sony there, but they'll probably end up doing their own thing. But Doug Bowser of Nintendo, Phil Spencer of Xbox, they are teasing fans on what to expect and to see and hear from this conference. There's been some rumors that we could possibly see, Breath of the Wild 2 being talked about a lot.
That'd be amazing.
I've also heard a lot of rumors talking about how they want to start pumping out brand new IPs for Nintendo, from Nintendo, I should say, like first-party exclusives. They still want to support their old library, like Mario and everything else, but they want to be able to, start moving forward in a sort of a way that they can grow their franchise even more. So that's exciting. Like I said, Phil Spencer, teasing about, the Halo, as well as also Psychonauts, and obviously if Skyrim, plays or not Skyrim, but Bethesda with maybe the next Fallout, or again with I know they've been developing a
Elder
game.
Scrolls should be next.
It should be, you would think.
Actually, that space game.
I know that's the one I was about to say. The space game,
Star something or other.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Starfield, is that what it is?
It might be something like that. Here, I'll look it up real quick.
But that's fine.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Fact check.
Starfield is that, and that is being again made by
2 points.
ZeniMax. Now, the initial release date is 2021, but that one again could easily be pushed back. So it's reportedly being. That was actually a news spike that broke here on the 19th of March. So last month, a couple weeks ago. Reportedly, it's aiming to launch in 2021, but we will again see if that really does, come out. There's been so many games that have unfortunately been, slotted for 2021, but have been delayed because of the pandemic. So again, we'll just, we'll see what happens there. But again, the heads of these big ass companies, teasing fans exactly what they want to see. I'm really excited for it. So
E3, they usually don't blow smoke with that kind of stuff. So
exactly.
If anything, they wouldn't say anything. So if they're excited, I'm excited. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
My favorite time of year, E3 season.
Ooh,
all right,
baby.
Why are they doing this?
I don't know.
The Last of Us is getting a remake for the PS5, but why?
Yeah, exactly. I don't get it. This was reported by Bloomberg, so you have to kind of take the facts for what you can get. I mean, Bloomberg isn't necessarily known for video games, but this is where the story leaked or came from, and that everyone was pulling from. So like IGN pulled it from this story, GameSpot pulled from the story. So there's a lot of people reporting off of this one report from Bloomberg. Sony's yet to comment about it. Naughty Dog's yet to comment about it. So, it does seem like it could be factual, but again, it's not, this is sort of, nothing's been confirmed 100% by either company. So it's sort of hearsay from the, so there was a team in 2018 that I guess came to Sony and said, hey, we'd like to do The Last of Us and remake it for the PlayStation 5. And they said, great, we want to just see, big commercial hits keep coming. And so they were like, okay, we're going to approve that. And it was a studio that was not Naughty Dog. So, so they had like the ability to go in there, kind of like, tool up everything, make it look better, fresher, and everything. But then that team got pulled because Last of Us Part 2 got delayed, so they stopped working on that game, and essentially, that company that was making the remake, it dissolved. And so now it's back to Naughty Dog based upon, that article. And again, this kind of like falls, with the report that there was a shift in leadership at Sony Japan, just to pump out commercial hits and move away from more of those experimental games with the smaller budgets. So like developers that created Ape Escape and Knack and Gravity Rush, those games we're probably never going to see another iteration of.
Knack.
I know.
Bring back Knack. Bring back Knack. Schmidt will be happy about that one.
I know. I wouldn't mind another Ape Escape or Gravity Rush. I really like those games a lot. In this, I don't know if it's because Sony's just reeling from the pandemic. Because I know that, with everyone having such difficulty getting a PlayStation 5, it's maybe they're not seeing the kind of money they want to see from software, because that's really where they make a lot of their money, is off the actual game versus the actual hardware. Right. So I know that it's been reported that like the cost to make a PlayStation 5 is like $480, and they're making like $20 when they sell it for $500.
Better than losing money.
Yep, exactly. So it's really strange that they're wanting to capitalize so soon on the release of Last of Us 2, which literally just came out last year.
That's why I think it's kind of odd. Now, I don't like it. The game isn't old enough to get a remake, in my opinion.
No, not at all. It just got remastered a few years ago.
Yes, it did. And however, if this were a proper remake from the ground up, right, for the PS5 exclusively, and it was like photorealistic, like using all of the technology that's available in the PS5, okay, I'll play it. I'll get it from GameFly, but I'll play it. Yeah. So that would be the only thing that would make me want to play. Photorealism, baby.
Yeah, if that was the case, that I would be interested in just playing that way, but I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, right. Because I feel like that would just take so much more time, and they'd probably have to get the actors and actresses back in there and have to reshoot the entire game. Like, it would be.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, it'd be wild.
Although they do have the mocap data from that, so they probably wouldn't need to get the actors back in, and they have all the voice acting and stuff.
True.
Like the original source, so they might be able to use that.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll just see. I mean, I wish they would, dig a little deeper into their vault of games. I mean, there's so many first-party Sony games that they have the license for and everything else that they could literally just, remake whatever the hell they want to. And they chose a game that, again, was such a commercial success. I think that's really the sort of the direction that they're going is, that's the reason why Days Gone 2 is not getting a sequel. It's considered retired for right now, and it was a decent game. There was a lot. That game I think got a 7 or so. I think it's aggregated at like 68, 69% or something like that on Metacritic. But from IGN's point of view, they said it struggled with a bit with the story and the open world, but plenty of great gameplay. It had sort of that Resident Evil feel and also Last of Us feel, where like resources are scarce. You have to be smart in how you're going to fight zombies and also humans and stuff like that. So it wasn't just like some flaming turd or anything like that. Like it was a decent game. Like and they shot it down. Looks like Naughty Dog's also going to be working. So the same team that was going to work on Days Gone 2 has actually been dispersed to help out with the remake of. Again, this is all hearsay from that same article, but that same company that was going to do Days Gone 2 is also going to be working on that remake of The Last of Us and also assisting with the new Uncharted. So they
should have just done Uncharted 1. That would have been fine. Right. And 2 and 3, the originals, or like the first 3. That'd be cool. All right, I'm ready to laugh. Are you ready to laugh?
Let's laugh. Let's fucking do this.
Okay, so you got to tell me about this. What is this, and why are we looking at it?
Yeah, so this is Lil Nas X. He came out with this song here, Montero, and it is called Twerk Hero. So if anyone in here is under the age of 18, I would shield your eyes. It's pretty ridiculous. So it is a video game all about twerking. I saw this as an article and I had to. So I played this last night and I'm sorry,
it's ridiculous.
Laughing so hard. It's so funny. It's literally a Dance Dance Revolution game, but you're exclusively just twerking. There is so much ass physics in this game. It's just wild. And it essentially just trying to hit these arrows, but it's such a poor rhythm game. It's hard to even tell how to successfully hit those arrows. And supposedly after a few levels here, you also will be able to slay Satan. I guess you decapitate Satan for some reason. I don't know, but it's fucking hysterical. But it's playing the little Nas song in the background too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but it's so funny. Like he's got like this like royal wig on here, this royal blue wig on.
It looks like Marge Simpson.
Yeah, it really does. And it's just the jiggle is so absurd. But it got released here on April 8th, so just a couple days ago. And just do a Google search for it. There's no download needed. It's a web browser game. So you literally all you need is a mouse. So just go to town.
That's hilarious. Now for our patrons, is the link to the game in the notes?
In the notes there, the PC Gamer, you can click on the article and then you can literally go to it. But you could easily just Google it too.
You could. I'm just saying if you're a $3 and up patron, you get our Google notes.
You do get the notes
for the show, and then you can get a direct link to it.
Yep, exactly.
That's hilarious.
Yep. Send us your screenshots. Send us your videos. We'd love to see how good you are at twerking, because I'm not very good at it.
Yeah. That's ridiculous.
It's so funny.
Good find.
But tell me about this one though, because we got a mad scientist, right?
Yeah, a mad video game scientist creates an incredibly large Nintendo Switch and then donates it to a children's hospital. What a feel-good story.
Yeah, it feels good. I feel good.
Games.av Club.
Yeah.
And you can check out the full article there. But yeah, the Switch is 30 inches by 70 inches. Is that right? Dang.
Yep, that's exactly right.
And weighs 65 pounds.
Yeah.
It's basically like if you took your 60-inch flat screen TV and you made gigantic wooden Switch controllers to put on either side of it. That's what it looks like.
Yeah. I don't believe those are playable. I believe those are just,
No, they are.
Oh, they are?
Yes, I watched the video. So what he did was he actually used a whole bunch of tiny servo motors, and there's actually a Joy-Con, a left and right Joy-Con on either side, a tiny one, a regular one. And then there's little motors that press the buttons. So if you press one of the buttons, one of the giant buttons, it actually has a little corresponding motor that goes doop, and it hits the real button. And then you can just take that. You can take that apparatus off with a couple of screws, and then you can replace the Joy-Con or charge it or whatever. And then the Switch is also mounted inside there on the left blue Joy-Con.
Okay,
FYI, gotcha. We lost all of our viewers after that twerking video, I think.
I saw that as well, too. We are down to one. I believe that might just be me.
That's hilarious. People are like, what is this monstrosity? Yeah, right. So in this case, if you are an audio-only listener, you have survived.
Oh, that's so good, so good. But no, that's so cool. I know that also in that he hooks up just a regular controller, and he's playing some Mario Kart and some Fortnite. So very cool. And then, like I said, he donated it to St. Jude's Children's Hospital there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just a really cool way to bring gaming to people that probably need it the most. So
for sure,
very cool.
That's awesome. I want to try it. I think that would be fun.
I do, right? We should make one.
There you go. Nah, looks like a pain in the ass.
It also looks super expensive as fuck.
Yeah, and I don't have any of those skills or tools, so I'd be starting from scratch. All right, let's keep things moving with the Shooter Roundup. Twerking Roundup. Twerking ruined the show.
Yeah, right. It broke our show.
Watch Twitch will probably kick us off altogether. Like, you can't use our platform anymore.
You're right. But we were just talking about video games.
Yeah.
But yeah, right. But we got the Overwatch. So Overwatch is really the only big news for this week for our Shooter Roundup. The 2021 Archives event is back on. So Wednesday night, got a chance to get together with the Discord here, put out an invite, and me and Jay Schmed, tag teamed this event here. Now, they did release some new skins, and for those that are $3 and up patrons, you can check out the skins. There's a little picture there as well. And some of them are really good, honestly. So the Genji one, where he's all in full Bushido Samurai, really great looking one. Zarya also looks really good too. And then the other ones fall a little flat. So there was a lot of fan kind of frustration with this event right now, because it is the second year in a row that they're running the same event with the exact same content. So this is not the. I'm sorry. I should preface it. I'm sorry. I should state here that the event has been going on for several years at this point, and each year there's been a new section added to this event. Like, this is essentially what Overwatch 2 is going to be. This is the PvE kind of missions versus those standard PvP matches. And so we're all working together as a collective team to stop this crisis from going on. And so, this is just my perspective here as Reinhardt. And I love playing Reinhardt. He just smashes things with a giant hammer and then just bulldozes things. But anyways, so the problem with this, it really comes down to the fact that they haven't added anything in over 2 years. So there's no new content. They've added a few little kind of one-timey challenges, I guess, to these events. But really, again, it's just making it a little bit more difficult. But ultimately, it's not too terribly challenging. So, and again, the sameness of sort of the Soldier, the Widow, and the Tracer have also frustrated a lot of fans too, because it's just sort of like, these would be great skins to have had throughout the year, but to have them all together seems like a huge waste. Because you could have had a 4th of July one where you could have put Soldier 76 as George Washington, there, versus maybe a Tracer, maybe it could have been a dodgeball thing. I think that would have been really cool to see, just a different mode or something. But they, this just makes a lot of fans kind of concerned about what we can expect from Overwatch 2 with the PvE, because if that doesn't kick off, if this is the amount of attention that we're getting now with this, what are we going to get for Overwatch 2? So it's kind of harshing that buzz that Blizzard's sort of just not putting that much care or thought into an already super established game. They haven't put a new hero in since Echo. That's been over a year at this point. And with these events, they're really just recycled. There's nothing, new about them except for a few skins. And some of the skins don't even fit their characters, like the one for Mercy and Lucio. Have a lot of fans really frustrated because it doesn't fit these characters MO at all. They're actually calling the Mercy skin the Karen skin. So so we'll just see. I love for Blizzard to kind of recognize that their fans are being very loyal to a game that was released back in 2015, and they'd like to see some new content for a game that's 6 years old, especially in these events that are is only around for a couple weeks. These PvE events are limited time, and it'd be really great to actually see a new chapter. And I get that they might be holding off for Overwatch 2. But I think they said in the past they've got over 90 plus missions in Overwatch 2. Just take one. Excuse me. Take one of those missions and put them in the goddamn thing. Yeah. So
when is that coming out anyway? Overwatch 2.
It got pushed back. So looking at 2022 probably.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's getting closer and closer, isn't it?
Yeah.
The year's half over almost. So that's crazy.
I know.
All right. Well, that's all we got for you guys today. Remember, Super Joystick Radio is a weekly show, so please subscribe and leave a review on your favorite podcast application. iTunes. Become a patron at... Wait a minute. Hold on. Yeah, sorry. Become a patron at patreon.com. Sorry, I'm kind of sick, so my brain's going south for sure. So I apologize for any weird issues that you may have experienced throughout this show. Hopefully I'll be better next week. Become a patron at patreon.com/superjoystickradio. $1 gets you early access to the audio-only version of the show. $3 gets you exclusive access to the show notes and the SJR Banter archives. which is a bunch of stuff that's cut from before, during, and after previous shows. There's a lot of content there that you can hear. So $5 also gets you the previous perks, plus a Discord badge and a mention on the show. Shout-outs right now to our $5 patrons: Phil Lynch, Joe Halder, Rob Belchunas, Nick, last name not specified, Caitlin, Chrissy, Justin D.,
hello,
Maddie Deebs, C Fresh, and Jay Schmed.
Lucio Main.
Excellent. All tiers also get discounts in the merch store, where you can find things like SJR Underoos.
Ooh, I need a pair of those.
SJR waffle makers.
Ooh, I need a waffle maker for sure. Spoons. They have SJR spoons.
They do. Collectible spoons, not the kind you use, the kind that you put into a closet or hang on a board.
Yes, but they do change. Like, so when it's got food in there, there's a smiley face. And when
you're not supposed to put food in them.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
They're collectible spoons.
Gotcha.
No, my grandma would kick your ass if you tried to use one of her collectible spoons to eat yogurt or something. Come on.
That's what they're made for.
Not collectible ones. I bet you'd use a collectible spoon and on a collectible plate, wouldn't you?
I would. Yep.
Yeah. That silver and gold is just gonna wear right away.
Yep.
Shame on you. You're not a
Shame on
good collector of silverware.
Fine dining equipment. Yes, you're
All
right.
Follow us on Twitter at SJoystickRadio. Follow us on Instagram at SuperJoystickRadio. Subscribe on YouTube for Let's Plays and streams, and you can catch this show on YouTube now too. So the video version with cool screenshots and video and twerking videos and all sorts of things. Not of us. Yeah. You should have seen what happened earlier. People are starting people are slowly starting to come back on now that they realize the twerking video is off.
Yeah, right.
All right. Sub to our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/SuperJoystickRadio so you can get notified when we go live every week when we record the show, and you can be part of the conversation because we love having you guys here in the chat. We had a whole bunch of really cool chat strings going here earlier during the show. It's fun to get your opinion while we're talking about it so we can incorporate you guys in what we're talking about. So
hell yeah.
Do that on Twitch today. Visit superjoystickradio.com for all of our social media links. The merch store is mentioned, and you can also join our Discord server on there. Shout out right now to our awesome Discord users on the server.
Yeah.
Justin has been trying to get people to play games with us on our Wednesday night SJR game night, and unsuccessfully. So jump on there if you're listening on Discord and you want to play a game. I want to play Killer Queen Black still. So let's set that up.
I was also saying we can maybe set up a thing where we can do a like you don't know Jack kind of game, like a Drawful or like a Fibbage or something like that. We can get the Discord together and all play together, and we'll stream that entire thing.
There's a new one that's on this PlayStation Spring Sale that's like movie quotes or something, or not movie quotes. They show a clip of like old goofy movies, like in weird situations, and then you have to come up with a caption for it.
Oh, nice.
And then I'm assuming that like the one that everyone votes on wins or something. But when you whatever you type, it's actually annotated by a computer voice. So like they read out the quote like in the scene while you're looking at it. I think that looks really fun. And it was only like $7.
Nice. Okay, for sure. We'll have to get that and we'll play it together with the Discord.
Now we'll have to figure out how to do that so we only have to buy one copy.
Right.
Hopefully
for sure.
we can do that.
Yes.
Without being too delayed. But we'll see. All right. Let's see. Visit our website. There you go. All right. Leave us a text or a voicemail via the SJR hotline at 630-551-8898. That's 630-551-8898. Justin's showing you how easy it is to punch in those numbers on your telephone and send us a text message or leave a voicemail. So we'd love to hear from you. I like
your beards.
I hate your beards. Whatever it is.
Right.
I want to see your beards accidentally intertwine in knots when you rub them together.
Yeah.
All right. We get in on the conversation. We'd love to hear your feedback or topic ideas on any platform. Like a grade school birthday party, nobody leaves empty-handed. Here's your goodie bag for the week. Justin, what do you have for the good people?
Yeah, Bad Trip. It sounds like an acid, but it's not. It's actually a really funny movie I watched with my wife. we're laughing hysterically. It's got Eric Andre, Little Rel, and Tiffany Haddish. It is hysterical. It is literally a prank show. It's like Jackass, but it's not just like senseless pranks after one another or like different challenges or whatever like that. It's literally a story, and then there are pranks, and these other people are like reacting to these pranks. It's
that sounds interesting.
So funny. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Check it out. It's on Netflix.
When I read that in your goodie bag, I thought that you actually were saying that you and your wife had a bad trip. And I was like, no. Oh no, I hope they're okay.
Yeah, right. Just like people can fly.
Yeah, exactly. I had that moment too. So
yes, right.
All right, mine is damn you Paramount Plus and damn you Justin, because come for the console wars and stay for the nostalgia. I bought your pitch hook, line, and sinker last week, so I downloaded the free trial of Paramount Plus to watch the console wars movie, which was okay, actually. It wasn't as good as I was hoping, but it was still good. And then, of course, my wife saw all the stuff that's on there, and she grew up with Nickelodeon, and I saw some of it at my friends' houses, but it's got all the trash TV from MTV and stuff like that on there, too. Yep. So she's, like, obsessed with it, and she's like, yeah, we're totally keeping this. So because of you...
You're welcome.
I have another streaming service, so it's never ending. I don't know.
Yep.
That's fine. It's cool. Thank you for the heads up.
Yeah, no problem. It's my pleasure.
All right. Well, that's all we got for you guys. Thanks for listening. We love you, and we'll see you next week.
Goodbye.